Well, as we were discussing, as the nation awaits the State of the Union address tonight by the president, the Middle East is also in a state of anticipation with the rapid increase of U.S. military presence near Iran. Joining us now is Congressman Scott Perry from Pennsylvania. He serves on the Foreign Affairs Committee and the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. He represents the 10th Congressional District. General, he's also a retired general, 40 years in uniform. Congressman General Perry, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Great to be with you, Tony. This is a special night. A lot of electricity around town here.
It is. There's a lot to celebrate. The president has accomplished quite a bit. As we were just discussing, the borders secure once again. He did it in his first administration. But before we get into kind of the particulars of tonight, let's talk Middle East. A lot of military presence of the U.S. building in that region. What are you anticipating?
Well, I anticipate a lot of leverage being placed on the mullahs of Iran to do exactly what the United States wants, which is essentially to disarm their nuclear program, but also to dismantle their ballistic missile program, which unfortunately threatens every one of their neighbors in the area. And of course, if they have it their way, they will threaten much further out. You know, they want the range capability to reach out to include the United States of America. And then finally, to stop sowing the seeds of terror around the globe, not just in the Middle East, but everywhere. Unfortunately, Tony, I just don't see the Iranians agreeing to this. And if they do agree in any principle, I certainly don't expect them to keep their word. And I think that is why they have the sort of Damocles hanging over their heads right now.
Well, you anticipated my second question, because this is not new for you. As I mentioned, 40 years in the military and retiring as a brigadier general. You know the mindset, the ideology that is driving them. I don't see them changing now. I mean, we've seen this for over 4 decades.
Right. Look, they are wholly committed to the destruction of the state of Israel and the United States, and of course, the Islamification of the entire globe. That is their mission. And even though their population doesn't support it, their population, of course, lives under tyranny. I mean, they've spent $1 billion rearming and re-equipping themselves after the last U.S. and Israeli strike. Meanwhile, their own citizens can't find food, water, or power. And so, unfortunately, they have a captive population. It's essentially a criminal element that has captured a so-called state or a nation, a sovereign nation. And I really don't see the ideology changing whatsoever. They have been able to bluff and obfuscate and delay their way to their current position for the last 47 years. Unfortunately, I don't think they've really had to deal with the likes of a resolved Donald Trump, President Trump. And I think that is the change in the calculus here. We are at a critical, pivotal moment in history, unlike any other, where the Iranian people are rising up. You have President Trump in the White House, a united Republican Senate and House. And I think the elements of change in the Middle East are on the table right now as we speak.
I think that is a fair assessment of the situation. The only thing I would add is I believe the people in Israel are praying hard for this president.
I'm sure they are. Yes.
Because their future is very much entwined with the decisions that he makes. Less than 2 minutes left, Congressman Perry. I want to turn now tonight to the President's State of the Union address. What are you hoping to hear?
Well, I'm hoping to hear where he tells the American people all the things that together the Congress and he have gotten completed, and the successes that we've had over the last year and a couple months, which are astounding, especially when you think about the small majority that we have. But most Americans don't know what was in the reconciliation called the BBB, the Big Beautiful Bill. They don't know what's in there. That was multiple successes, from no tax on tips and overtime, reducing taxes on Social Security, and quite honestly and quite literally stopping the biggest tax increase in history. Every Democrat is on record of voting to increase taxes. Every Republican is on record to vote to actually decrease your taxes. Most Americans don't know those things, all the things that occurred, because we usually pass one bill at a time. But on that occasion, there were multiple bills literally dozens of bills all passed at one time, and the effects are being seen in an economy growing at a 5% gross domestic product when the experts told us we'd never get above 2, right? So the president has to talk about our successes and then has to show the roadmap for future successes, including the Save America Act.
You know, Congressman Perry, it's interesting. When government does its job and it works well, the American people don't know it. Because things are as they should be, and that's the way we have it right now. Congressman Scott Perry, always great to see you, my friend. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you, Tony. God bless you.